All right. Welcome to the Inspirit Flow podcast, where we deep dive into the topics that business owners and entrepreneurs need to create passion, ease, and flow into their work so that they can carry out their God given purpose and live a life they truly love. I'm your host, Bree. I'm the founder of Inspirit Flow Consulting for Small Businesses, and I'm an entrepreneur, a marketer, and a purpose driven professional motivator. I absolutely love helping others design their dream life and actualize the gifts that they were born to share with the world. So, here is where we discuss all things business, self development, such as mindset, strategy, spirituality, health, leadership, growth, awareness, and so much more. So today's topic is uncovering your why. Okay? So today we're going to get into some topics I never thought that I would be sharing with the world. Topics like business, spirituality, mental health, things that I always thought were kind of private matters, but I realized that I'm actually being called to speak on them. Because when you figure out the things that truly matter in life, and you see others who are struggling with those things, you no longer can ignore it. It's your calling to speak on it. So that's what we're going to do today. So, my number one why, more than anything else, is sharing the love of Jesus to bring as many people with me into the kingdom of heaven as possible. And my avenue for doing that may seem a bit odd. You may be thinking, didn't you say you were a business consultant? What does that have to do with God? Well, today I'm going to break down my perspective for you on what it means to me, and maybe it can help you see how you can utilize your life to do the same. So, small business owners make up 99.9% of all businesses. Did you know that? And they are incredibly important figures and leaders in their community. Whether they realize this or not, it is true. And many of them are struggling and carrying with them this weight of their business and their personal matters, which causes them to experience hardships in their business and life, and potentially they are at risk of even failure as a business. So, I want to share with you the rate of failure among small businesses. And I don't do this to scare you or be a fear monger. I really just want you to be aware of why it's so important to plan and prepare and know where your business is heading and why. So, within the first year, 20% of small businesses fail. After about 5 years, 45% of them have failed. So almost half. And when they look at the studies of 10 years, 65% of small businesses have failed. Now, I want to look at why is that the case. And my belief is that they are actually missing some of the key components that make successful businesses stay in business. So their longevity. I think some of these small business owners are missing these key components, and if they properly put them in place, they can create flow and abundance in their business and in their life. Now, I want you to think about the impact that a business owner might have on the people around them. Think about the impact that they have on their team members, for example, and then the impact that those team members carry home to their families. What about the impact that the business owner has on their own family and how they carry that to school or to their job that they go to every day? And now I want you to think about the impact that a business owner might have on their customers, their clients. They interact with them daily. Do you think they have an impact there? And then when they are being members of the community, what is the impact that they have there? So you can see that they actually have a web of people that they reach. So their impact is really great, even if they may not think so. And they care about their communities. That's why I love small businesses. They live in the community, they work in the community, they make their living off the community, and they truly care about the problems and issues going on in the community. And with the proper planning, they actually have the resources to contribute to solving some of those issues and supporting their community in a really powerful way because they are there and they care. They look out for their friends and family and neighbors. And in order to really properly do that, they need to prepare their business so that it can sustain longevity over time by having the proper fundamentals such as marketing, retention of their clients, team training, and team retention in this day and age. Do they have the proper messaging to their clients? Is it being received well? And they have to be innovative as well. These are some of the topics that I help small businesses improve upon so that they can predict their longevity and even scale to their desired growth. Now, I firmly believe in business and in life, if you are not growing, you're dying. So when we get into the topic of your beliefs and more personal topics like, what are your daily habits? What are the driving force and the motivations that you have and the reason behind them? How is your mental health? How is your self-care and those habits? We see these things greatly contribute to a business's success. And small business success impacts everyone around them. So ultimately, we want our dollars to stay local because we can use that money to solve local problems. And more people end up getting involved in caring about these problems. You have a huge impact as a small business owner, and I just want to make sure we're hammering that point home and you do see that. That's why it's so important that you take care of yourself and you have the proper strategies in place for your business so that you can continue to help others around you. And when it comes to being a leader in your community, it's all built upon your why. So this goes back a little bit to the last episode. Your calling, and is it purpose-driven or are you ego-driven? I do not want to work with an ego-driven business owner unless I can help them reframe that thought and actually find that their why is much deeper and more meaningful. I really want to work with the business owners who understand who's really in charge here, what purpose they're really serving, which is God's purpose for you, and that point is to spread His love with as many people around us as possible. And whichever way that you are doing that is perfectly fine, but I want to help you deliver that message more accurately. So to get even deeper here, if you didn't realize this, the world is a dark place. And right now we are in a war of light versus dark. Okay? I know God to be the truth. He's the way, the truth, and the life. This is not an opinion for me. It is the absolute truth that I know in my heart. And I know there's an afterlife. And I want to be with God in that afterlife and nowhere else. So it's my duty to be a shining example of how to live a life and lead a life for others that exemplifies this. How do we bring more people to know Jesus and come along that journey as a small business owner? You can see it's a fine line, but it's your calling to be bold, to be brave, to be a leader, and stand up for what you believe in a way that is helpful instead of divisive. Now, I love business owners because they're so bold and brave. They started their own business. They had a dream and they actually followed through with it. But sometimes I think they are afraid to admit that in some areas the wheels are beginning to fall off a little bit. And not only do we need to tighten the bolts, maybe we're on a very bumpy path. We need to reroute the whole vehicle. These are things that if you have your why in place, your North Star, you will be on a smoother path with the tightened wheels and you'll be smooth sailing. That's the flow that we want to inspirit, aka inspire. But when these things aren't fully aligned, such as your processes, your systems, and the reason behind why you're doing all of this, you may be going down a path that is not going to lead anywhere. It may be a dead end, aka the business failure rate that we alluded to, and we don't want that. So you get clear on your purpose, you get clear on what kind of things have to be in alignment to create that purpose, and then you are in the flow, you are loving your life, it is abundant, and you are happy, and you are impacting others, and you're growing every single day, and you're still here after a decade and decades to come. Now, I told you I was going to explain what Inspirit flow means. The word Inspirit means to inspire, and flow is obviously creating that flow state where things feel natural. Doesn't mean that they're easy, but there's not so many bumps in the road. Things are just going as you would like them to go, ideally, most of the time. There's a process and you know where you're headed. Now, business owners need to simplify their day-to-day operating in a predictable, efficient way in order to achieve this. But they also need to be really inspired by a purpose that is so much bigger than them. They need a purpose bigger than themselves to achieve that longevity and not be burnt out or be going the wrong direction. So if you want to be one of the 35% who is still around in decades to come, hang with me or work with me personally, and I will make sure that you get there. Thank you so much for listening today. Please make sure that you subscribe to this podcast as well as our YouTube channel and visit us on Instagram. I want to know what you want to hear more of and what you are going to think about that really impacted you today. I do this 100% for you. I'm here to serve, and it's why we're here. So I would love some feedback. And the best compliment you can give is by sharing it with someone you know who could use this information or who might find it interesting. So share with a friend today, make sure to leave a review, and subscribe so you can tune in next time. Thanks so much.